time to play the game. Time to play the game.
It's time to play the game, folks. Moose is in the house. The boss is in. It's time.
Fasten your seatbelts for another Naughty Dog creation.
It's time to play the game, folks. Alright. Gotta show everyone how it's done. Alright. Oh. Alright, a little bit too much. Okay, so. Didn't fix that part up, that's okay, that's my bad. Now, before I do, because I haven't got to do the ad read in a little bit, before I do launch into this, just want to send a reminder to everyone. This is part of the Jolly Jamboree. Syothon is part of the Jolly Jamboree, which is on behalf of Gamers Outreach. That's a non-profit empowering hospitalized families through play. Their goal is to build a world where activity is easily prioritized as part of care, and video games are their tools of choice. Being in hospital can be scary and isolating. Games give kids access to adventure and opportunities to socialize, and healthcare staff have used games to assist with treatment. Kids deserve a chance to be themselves, and video games inspire joy. They're a source of enrichment and relief, and their programs restore a sense of normalcy in hospitals, and they're helping kids heal by improving the patient experience, and that's through their go-kart project, which is like a portable gaming kiosk that's like deployed at hospitals for kids to socialize and play games and whatnot while they're undergoing their treatment and whatnot, which is an excellent cause. The Jolly Jamboree as a whole has raised over $84,000 this week, and Syothon has been a contributing factor of that, which is very good. Very proud. Now, okay, so I'm going to get started on this one here. I think the audio is a hair loud. I will drop that there. Okay, so this game is super elegant for a speedrun marathon, because there are, how many tracks are there? There's 4 tracks per hub and 5 bosses. So yeah, the first 16 tracks go over one at a time, various pieces of tech that you will then use for the back half of the run, which is really, really interesting. So throughout each track, I'll explain sort of what that new piece of tech we're sort of seeing is, and how it's going to impact the run. I usually have a co-commentator here, but it's just me today, so we're going to see how we go. So time starts when I gain control of the character, which is, I can tell by the loading screen when it's going to be, but roughly in about 5 seconds. And let me just make sure that I've got everything else set up. It looks like everything else is all good. Because yeah, once this starts, I am tech, so if anything's wrong, I can't fix it. So we will go, and it is now. Okay. So the mask will pop up to give you various tutorials and whatnot. I don't need that. It's okay. I don't need any of that stuff. I already know how to play this game. Now that I've said that, it's going to go horribly poorly. So I'm going to use a lot of comparisons to Mario Kart for this run, because it's just sort of games that everybody understands. Eagle-eyed viewers may have caught that I had my camera reversed there. That was to reduce lag, because I'm not looking at the opponents. You always start in last place. So by not loading in the opponents, I can actually get a lot less lag. Now, as far as boosting goes, it works kind of similarly to Mario Kart. Whereas, with Mario Kart, the longer you hold that drift, you get a bigger boost, kind of. In this game, what you're seeing is that red bar fill up in the bottom right corner as I'm driving around and drifting. So what that actually looks like on the controller is I'm holding R1 to initiate the drift, and then I'm tapping L1 to try and tapping L1 as that bar fills up, trying to get it as filled as it can be before I tap it. What that does is provide a little boost in speed, and it also gives me some speed in reserves. Speed in reserves is exactly what it sounds like. It is backup speed that the car will start to pull from once I'm no longer drifting. And they will come into play for various things later, but it's as it says on the tin. It's speed in reserves. Speed as a backup. So yeah, super basic track. It's our like sort of entry track. Oh, let's go Kagar with a big raid. I can shout that one out because I'm the one actually commentating. Excellent stuff. Welcome everybody.
The more Wampa fruit you collect.
We had Ham Fruit Cake on earlier doing Tetris with Card Captor Sakura. And I think Kagar knows who that is. Okay, so the next track that we have here, this one shows off the first sort of unintended speed tech. It's called speed ghosting. Now, I don't really know the way it works exactly, but my understanding of it is that when you hit a drift boost on a downward slope like that, you gain a massive amount of speed that you are not meant to get. There are 2 locations in this track where I can do this. So you're going to see the next one here. So I'm going to get this last drift boost, bang, on that downhill, and I get a lot more speed than I'm meant to be getting. Now, you'll also notice that I am sort of hopping repeatedly after that. So because I'm not drifting during that, I'm needing to use my speed in reserves that I was mentioning before. Now, the reason I'm hopping, and this part may be slightly incorrect, but your car only pulls from its reserves when the wheels are touching the ground. So by repeatedly hopping like that, I'm using less reserves as I'm driving down these straights. I'm not just hopping though. I'm actually holding down L1 and mashing R1, which is the hop button to initiate a drift. That is much less traction. Oh, I didn't get it there. Yeah, you see I lost all my speed. It's much less traction than just hopping regularly. I don't think I have a really good place to show off what just hopping looks like. But basically, what you would be seeing there is that the car would stick to the ground a lot more. Which wasn't happening there.
You win a trophy.
We've got more mask dialogue.
When you get a TNT crate on your head.
Oh, I actually don't know what to do if I get a TNT crate on my head. I should have listened to that. That's okay. Now, this track is the first sort of demonstration of cycles for like track obstacles. So can't really see them yet, but you can see these little ramps are rising and falling. So I want to hit those. I want to hit those specific ramps because those are the lines that I've practiced, like that one there, as it pops up, which gives me a larger boost. This can sort of be a bit of a double-edged sword because if you go too fast, you might actually end up early on a cycle and not get the one that you're sort of used to, if that makes sense. Luckily, I'm pretty... I shouldn't say this, but I'm relatively consistent with these like early tracks. So I'm usually going to hit the same cycles that I want to each time. Like that one there. And I'm driving over this off-road section here as well. It's a small shortcut. So these cycles are... I think they'd be referred to as local. They will initiate when I load into the track. They're not sort of... There's no RNG to it. The only sort of quote-unquote RNG is if you lose time or gain a significant amount of time, you'll end up off the cycle that you're sort of used to seeing. Konnichiwa, masa. Arigato. Hopping across that. Another sort of advantage of that hopping trick that I was talking about before is it's less, you lose less speed when going off-road. So there's a couple different use cases for it, which is really good. These fireballs also have deceptively small hitboxes, so I'm not too concerned about those. Didn't get a 39. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Okay.
Congratulations. You win.
We've got our last of the sort of basic tracks that will be here. I'd say this is relatively basic. So this next track has both an intended shortcut, some cycles, and a really, really creative speed ghost. Speed ghosting is the downhill boost trick. So there's a super creative one in this track, which I'm very excited to show off, if I can get it. So this intended shortcut is actually kind of deceptively hard. It's right at the start here. I'm going to want to jump sort of off the half pipe up into the, there we go. And don't go the full way, you want to drop off on the bridge. That is the fastest sort of path through that. Now here's the speed ghost. There. So that looks counterintuitive because my cart was actually pointed upwards, but the game still registers it as a downhill. So that saves about 1 or 2 seconds there if you can get one. There's a second speed ghost that you can sort of chain it into. I'm not quite good enough to do that one. It's very risky because if you muck it up, you lose all of your speed. And I biffed that one. I jumped a little bit too late. That just gives me a chance to get these Wumpa, which is the same as coins in Mario Kart. They will just give you more speed. Didn't quite get that one very well, but it's okay. What's the damage on this? About 4 seconds, okay. Not the worst, but I'm not hugely excited about it. Try one more. There we go. Get the speed ghost again. Oh, I thought I was going to get squished. I was so sure that I was going to get squished there. Items as well. There are items in this game. They're typically just not very smart to use until the last lap because the CPU, there's no rubber banding. So in these early tracks especially, you're going to outpace the CPU. And you're the only one really driving the same sorts of lines that you're driving. You're like, the CPU don't take these like even remotely optimal lines, right? So really the only person whose path you're putting the items in for the most part is your own, unless you're going out of your way. So this is our first boss track, so we will re-race Rue's tubes. Bosses basically have infinite items. Rue's item of choice is TNT, but he sucks and is slow, so it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna try and... oh yeah, I forgot to mention this little, that little off-road shortcut at the end there. That's... I don't think the developers actually realized it was faster. But it's significantly faster. Get another speed ghost here. It's a bit hard to see in that particular instance, but yeah, the speed boost is like very noticeable. If you watch somebody not land a speed ghost, and then you have it like side by side with someone who did get a speed ghost, it is like night and day. It looks really bizarre. And again, it's sort of a byproduct of the trick being unintended. The really good thing about Crash Team Racing specifically, the community is really, really passionate. I didn't get under 11 minutes. The community's super passionate, so if you ask them about, if you're really interested in like tech for this game or something like that, if you ask someone in the Discord about it, they will gladly give you paragraphs about how it works and how it was discovered and all that stuff. No, I know what's happened here.
Congratulations on opening.
There we go. I will read those in just a moment. This is the other sort of weird skill in this game, which is just driving on the overworld. These are not tracks, so they aren't really designed like them. So they have these weird, like here, there's this absolutely evil hairpin turn there. What I'm going to do here as well is right as I enter this level, I'm going to reverse the camera, which will make it less laggy when I load in. Alright, excellent. Fuck me, I just saw the dono, you dog. Alright, so this is the first level where RNG, genuine RNG, is a real factor. I'll read the donations after this race. So I'm going to take a little shortcut there and fail it. Now, I need to get a damaging item that I can throw forward. And I did. So I'm going to throw it at this wall, and that opens up a little shortcut where I can get some Wumpa Fruit and another item for an attempt at that shortcut on lap 2. That cut saves about 3 seconds per lap. And 3 seconds doesn't sound like much, but you got to remember you're doing these tracks, these laps 3 times. And on tracks where you re-race them for the boss, that's doubled. So it can really add up, and I am so bad at this track. Okay, so I do have an item. Excellent. Attempt number 3. Please let me go 3 for 3. You beauty. So basically, all you don't want to see there is the TNT/nitro crates, because they are damaging items, but you can't throw them forward. So what you're wanting to see is potion, shield, and bomb. However, the odds of the items are stacked in a way where it's effectively a 50-50, which is super stupid. Luckily, I don't think the world record is at a point today where, like, it's completely out of the question if you... I think you can go 0 for 3 and still get world record. There are far nastier tricks that the world record requires. So, we have a $100 donation from Neo Cortex, who says, loving the marathon so far, best wishes to everyone except that damn Bandicoot.
You win a trophy.
What a prick. And then Chai with a 10 burger that says, this is my destiny, you fat cunt.
You can
Thank
go
you, Chai.
faster through turn.
Terrible pun. This guy. Alright, Coco Park. Last super vanilla track of the run. There's really no sauce on this track at all. Also, for the record, Chai's all good. That's an in-joke. It's all okay. I'm not being bullied. Only privately. Okay. So yeah, this is the last, like, really vanilla track. The only source there is right at the start of lap 1. There's a pretty tricky off-road jump, but it's like pseudo RNG. It feels so, like, it just feels wrong sometimes. Like, the angle that you have to come in at and the way that you jump, like, that was pretty good. But then sometimes I'll exit that off-roading section at, like, 11.5 seconds, and it's like, really? I lost 2 seconds on that? It's a really strange jump. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe I just need to practice it more. It's like pseudo RNG, it feels like. Because, yeah, while Tiger Temple has genuine, real RNG, a lot of the tricks can feel like RNG just because of the nature of the game. It's not a platformer where you're running around on your feet, you know. You're in a car. There's only so much control you have over it. Which is... It makes creating like a normalized setup for a jump or something like that a lot harder. Whereas in something like, you know, Spyro, you can line up Spyro's legs with a pattern on the ground and then do a charge. Or you can, in like Mario 64, for example, the blindfolded runners, they'll put themselves into a corner and then punch the wall because it will set them a fixed distance back from the wall every time. It's not really possible to do something like that in a racing game. The freedom just isn't really there in a car. Alright, so this is the first, like, really fucked up unintended shortcut. And I didn't get the starting boost, but that's okay. This spiral is also the sole reason I play as Coco. There are faster characters technically, but they have worse turning and can't make this spiral easily. I didn't get as much speed as I want, so I'm going to take the safer method. Yeah, I'm going to need to take the safer method around. So, what I'm going to be doing here is avoiding the massive U-turn at the end, hopefully, by hopping onto this fence. Ah, I fell off. So this is what I'm going to be skipping in lap 2. That big hairpin there. Not a terrible go at it. I got the backup quite nicely, and I had a little speed boosting item there to sort of help me get back on my path there. Now I'm going to try and chain this together with the other shortcut, which is jumping across this podium and then over to here. Ah! Excellent. Look at that. Look at how much faster that was. I thought the Crash Bandicoot was going to knock me out of my shortcut there. Oh, I barely made that. Okay, I'm going to be really safe here. So, fun fact, if you don't touch the ground before you drive through the lap marker, on lap 3 specifically, it will still count the lap, but you soft lock the game. So I wanted to be extra careful there with lap 3.
To get around a tight turn.
And I'm going to intentionally trigger this boss garage one as well.
This boss garage.
You are forced to get it at some point in the run, and it's more convenient and faster there. So this is the last sort of piece of tech that I can really showcase, and only on lap 1. So while I'm off-road, I'm going to be holding accelerate, brake, and hopping. That looked really weird, and if you've ever driven off-road in this game before, you'll notice that that was distinctly faster. Now, by holding accelerate and brake and hopping like that, basically what I was doing there was preserving all of the speed that I came in with. It basically prevents you from losing any speed while you're on the off-road, but you will lose the speed the moment you leave the off-road. So, at that point, I don't have much speed built up. I don't have any reserves or anything like that yet. It's the right, very start of the race. So, I can use the little speed that I do have and get a significantly faster opening. I might actually be able to do it now because I'm going to have lost everything. No, I think it should... Yeah, this should still be fine. Okay. So yeah, only really viable on lap 1 because by the other laps, I've got speed that I can use to actually carry myself through the off-roading section. There is a speed ghost you can do there. I'm not very good at it, so I just don't go for it. So that tech of holding... Oh, God, I thought I was going to get hit again. I was off the sort of cycles that I was used to from that first one. That tech of using accelerate and brake at the same time is useful on one other track, and I'll point it out when it does come up.
Alright, time for Papu. This is my destiny. Papu want in action.
Excellent work. I did also just realize with those last 2 donations, we actually hit the syothon goal, the initial goal that I set of $500, which is really awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. All going towards an excellent cause and an excellent group as part of the Jolly Jamboree there. Alright, time to destroy Papu. I have kind of been getting my ass kicked by this track in practice, so hopefully this one goes a little bit better. It's probably the first, like, major, like, messed up shortcut that everyone learns. I have to go around. I lost all my speed on the grass. In fairness, I'm playing that, like, I'm giving myself a much better backup than... giving myself a much better backup than I usually would for, like, an actual PB attempt. Normally, this track is a lot harder. So, the way that that's sort of working is the game will load a portion of the track in front of you and a portion of the track behind you that you are allowed to jump to. This is to make intended shortcuts. Nice. This is to make intended shortcuts. So it's got to load the track in front of you because you're going to be skipping to it, right? So you drive just far enough on the intended path that everything up to, like, here loads just by driving the track normally. You'll see in a few other tracks where I've actually got to start driving backwards. But basically, if you tried to jump... damn it. If you tried to jump onto that fence earlier... you actually can't. The game will not let you. It will throw the mask on you, and it will send you back to the start of the track. So we do have to drive some portion to load up the area that we're going to jump to, and then we land on it there. That is mostly it's going to be more prevalent in Oxide Station and Hot Air Skyway. Come on, give the man some ka-chows, people.
Maybe Papu not eating a big breakfast. You are fast for be so small. Here is key to help. Oxide,
All right.
much bigger problem.
So we're headed to the back half of the game. So we've learned all the tech that we're going to use. It's time to implement it. Now, earlier I mentioned that I was driving into one of the stages backwards to stop lag. I'm not on PB pace or anything like that. I'm not going for anything crazy there. I'm going to show you how bad the lag is. So if I just drive into the stage normally with everything else loaded in front of me, that's almost 2 seconds if I remember correctly. It's really bad. So this is our last sort of essential, like... oh, Jesus. I got super unlucky there. This is our last, like... sort of normal track before it starts getting really freaky. So we've got an intended jump here to cut through that tunnel, and then this one that is intended but is really hard. Yeah, it's super hard. You can hop that fence. It saves a couple seconds rather than going around this big U-turn. I was meant to go through here on lap 1, but I got body blocked by the CPUs. So I'll try again. There we go. Beautiful. That was kind of stinky. Moose is in the house. Now, I'm not fully across where that boulder's going to be, but it looks okay. Yeah, usually with these cycles, I can kind of tell based on, like, the timing of my other laps where the sort of positions of this stuff will sort of be. But it was really hard to tell in that particular situation. A terrible lap 1, but really good lap 2 and 3. Very happy about that. So this is our actual last piece of tech, and it's pausing. If I can do it.
Congratulations. You win a trophy.
So that dialogue that says, congratulations, you win a trophy, you can actually skip that dialogue by pausing. I've heard something frame perfect, but I've heard other people say it's not frame perfect. So I'm not going to say... It's a very tight window, is what I'll say. Where you can pause the game before the dialogue starts, and then unpause it, which will actually skip the dialogue entirely, which saves about 2 seconds each time you do it. If you're playing on the PAL version, you can actually not select a language, and it will automatically skip that every time, which is really fun. So this is where I'm going to use that off-road tech. So I'm going to boost and then hold X and square there. And that let me go through that little off-road section there with a massive amount of speed. Against regularly going through the spiral and whatnot, it's about 3 seconds ago. And this little hop across the water I love as well. I feel like a rock being skimmed. Bonked the wall a little bit there. Not bad though, recovered nicely. Oh, that's terrible. This track has a really weird quirk where if you jump from that off-road section with the gravel over the finish line and back onto the track, the lap won't count. Everybody gets got by that once, at least. Oh, this is super slow. That's alright though. At least I didn't get squished. Excellent. God damn it, dude. Alright, I'm going to try and get the pause trick again here.
Congratulations. You win a trophy.
I just mash it, so I can't be too mad when I don't get it. I know people who do prefer to time it. The world record holder Hypno Shark does typically prefer to time it. I don't know the timing, so I just mash it and hope that I sort of land in that section. So we've got a super tricky shortcut here. But I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna try and get 10 Wumpa straight away. I'm gonna take a slightly longer path to get the 10 Wumpa.
Here you go.
Okay, let me try this. Oh, barely missed it, barely missed it. I'll try one more.
Wrong way.
There we go, there we go. That's a lot better. Yeah, I barely didn't have enough speed there. Okay, barely made that one. Jesus, we're hanging on by a thread here. So yeah, that first shortcut is super hard as well when there's like CPU driving at you. Okay, excellent. That last little shortcut that's not quite intended as well. So I've got 10 Wumpa here, so I can go the shorter path. So I want to build up as much speed as I can. And let's try that again.
Wrong way.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That saves a crazy amount of time. There is another version where, because I turn around and use the other boost pad. However, there is a version where you just hairpin it from that little section right after the seal. You just hairpin it and you land it. And it's super sick to see. I can't do that though. I'm not even sure if acceleration characters can. That might be a speed character only thing. But I'm not game enough to do that. Can I go kind of 3 for 3?
Wrong way.
Oh no! Okay. I'm gonna do you a favor and show you what's being skipped. Wink wink. I'm not just trying to get out of trying it a 5th time. So yeah, having to go around that hairpin is really, really slow. And also weirdly risky. You can fall off, there's no guardrails or anything, and you can actually overshoot the where you want to land. So yeah, this is definitely a high-level run killer. Excellent. Okay. I think the actual, the worst part... Oh, wait.
You win
No,
a
no
trophy.
pause. The actual worst part of that trick is that after you play it, you have to go through Tiny Arena, which this has source at a world record level. If you're not gunning for a world record, this track is super boring. Laps are about a minute each, so it's the longest track by far. There's a shortcut you can use with a nitro crate where you basically put the nitro crate right before the finish line and then hit the nitro crate in a way that not only sends you over the finish line but over one of these really big walls about 80% of the way through the track. So your second and third laps go from being 1 minute long to about 20 seconds long. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. And again, even if I did, it's really only a world record thing or maybe a top 3 thing at this point. It's not something anyone should be trying unless they seriously want a world record or if they just want to gatekeep their runs. So without trying that, this track does become super boring. And it's the most hideous double-edged sword of all time. So you've just done Polar Pass. Now, you've either failed at the shortcut and lost like 10-15 seconds, and now you're like sitting there molding and losing hair over the fact that you fucked up that shortcut, and you have to sit here for 3 minutes just like stewing in that. Or you've nailed it 3 for 3, and now you're like kind of nervous about the future of the run, and you know, oh, I'm actually on really good pace now. And you're still molding and you're still losing hair, but because of nerves instead of rage. So it's really a lose-lose. It's a cool track aesthetically. It reminds me a bit of like the Wario Stadium tracks, like monster trucks or like dirt bike kind of vibe. But as an actual track, it's just boring. Without going for any crazy skips. There was a skip discovered that is kind of like a mini version of the skip that I described before. But even that one, I'm not sure exactly how to do it. It requires a TNT to be placed very specifically as well. So it's, again, kind of a lose-lose. It's going alright though. 108, 106 is kind of the benchmark that I've got. My sort of very general rule of thumb of a lot of these tracks is laps 2 and 3 should be about 2 to 3 seconds faster than your lap 1. So I mean, I definitely made some mistakes, but 108 is about in the range that I would be expecting for myself on this track. But at the same time, again, there's no source. There's nothing to really practice when you're just like, when you're not doing anything crazy. There's like 2 turns that are kind of hard. So it's like, okay, just practice them. Okay. Excellent. So we've got our third boss, Komodo. I think this is Mo. I think this is Komodo Mo.
You've beaten all the other racers on these tracks. Well, now you'll see.
Alright, got a white monster. It's time to lock in. Let's do it.
Circuit. I'll earn the right to face Oxide by crushing you into brick dust. Let's race.
Just before I do launch into this one, we did get a 10 burger from Mr. Sailor Moon, who says, "Good stuff, lovely XO." And another 10 burger from Tom Scott that says, hang on. You can all wait. You can all wait for the message. anticipation. I'm keeping you all on the edge of your seats. This is what it's all about. This is how you have a good stream. Oh, that car is really close. Okay, it's all good. That minecart was super close behind me.
So sorry.
Whoa! Okay. Yeah, so I forgot that the that Komodo Mo here will leave TNT around,
Here you go.
which is really cool of him. I forgot about that one. And I've lost all my speed. I've lost everything. I actually can't even go. I couldn't even go there. Yeah, I couldn't even go down the little shortcut there because the minecart was too close. It would have squished me. Okay, well, terrible lap 3, but other than that, those tracks went pretty well. So it says, "Hi, Tom Scott here, not the British YouTuber. As you can see, I'm a big fan of
You're
cars.
not so slow
Car
after
chow."
all. Surprised me you did. Here's the key for the
Really?
win. Still, I think you're not fast.
Someone donating,
enough to
pretending
embrace
to be Tom.
oxide. We're going to lose our planet, and it will all be your fault.
Thank you, regardless. Okay, now, I want to stay... I did this in a practice run by accident. I want to stay away from that big green screen. It's the save point. It's the save point. If you drive too close to it, the mask will pop out and give you a big old tutorial about how to save the game. Like, brother, stick a memory card in and say yes when the game asks if you want to save. Right, now there is one last mechanic that the game is going to introduce for these last few laps, and it's super boost pads. They are just like regular boost pads, but super. They will give way more speed than they otherwise, than other boost pads normally would, but with another sort of unintended mechanic where if you've got a lot of speed in reserves going into one, and then you boost on top of it, or gain speed on top of it, look what happens. Tremendous speed there. Now, there's another mechanic that I kind of forgot to mention where these jumps that you're doing I'll show on this ramp here. So that gave me a really small speed boost because I jumped off that ramp. So if you gain speed on one of those super boost pads, you get that massive boost in speed. So I'm going to jump down here, get the boost from that, and I get to carry the speed all the way through. Oh, I biffed it slightly. So while you do have that super speed, if you gain speed through any other source, be it drift boosting, getting boosts from a jump or anything like that, you will lose the speed. So that's why I'm not drifting here. And it's why I wasn't meant to jump up those inclines earlier, but I accidentally did. And I'm going to chain that with the repeated froggy hopping as well, to make sure that I use as few reserves as possible because I'm not drifting, so I'm pulling speed from reserves. So let's try that again and try and do it properly this time. Jump down here, get a little boost from there as I land on the boost pad. And very carefully not jump up those. It's so quick. This is my favorite track in the whole game. And it's literally because of that. Yeah, I love the super boost pad mechanic. In Oxide Station, the only time you see its super boost pad is if you don't take the shortcut. And same sort of goes with Hot Air Skyway. So of the last 4 tracks, we're going to be using the super boost pad on 2 of them. And the other 2, I might use them. It depends on how freaky I can get with the shortcuts. It just sort of depends. They're kind of backups, if you will. Nice. That was a really good third lap. Really, really good third lap. Okay, can I get one pause just to show what it's like? And I'm actually really hard.
Congratulations. You win a trophy.
There's only a couple more opportunities to do it. Jump down here and go to Cortex Castle. I'm going to show the map initially for this track, and you'll see that it's pretty nasty. This castle is made entirely of right angles, and it's really shit. Look at that. There's like 2 little, like, rounded paths, but it's otherwise really nasty, just full of right angles. It's got these spiders that are on cycles, and the super boost pad is right at the end, so you don't get a huge amount of use out of it, but we'll see. This turn in particular is so evil. As a speed character, I actually straight up don't know how to make that turn. So I'm going to try and get as much speed as I can. The super boost pad coming up. There it is. I thought I was going to hit the spider. It's okay. Yeah, so you don't get a huge amount of use out of that last super boost pad, but it's otherwise really, really nice. I think there is technically a skip on this track. It's Taz only. You have to be a literal robot to do it, because it involves bouncing off of other cars, and it doesn't even save that much time. It's like 2 seconds, I think, and you can only do it once. Because again, there's no rubber banding in this game, so you can see how far behind all the other CPU are. Like, they're just starting lap 2. Or maybe about halfway through lap 2, sorry. It's so weird playing with the minimap. I shouldn't have switched. I just wanted to be nice to the people. That should have been good. I can't tell. So when you've got the speedometer up, you can actually see how big the boost you get off of jumping off those like ramps and whatnot. You can see how big that boost is. You can't tell with the minimap. Do you get super competitive if someone whips this out at a party? I probably would. Except the multiplayer is kind of arse, because the what's it called? If you try and do this on actual PS1 hardware with a multi-tap, the game doesn't run properly. So all the obstacles, they load in like when they're right in front of you. So 2-player is okay. 4-player is literally unplayable on PS1 hardware or PS2 hardware. Okay, I've got to kind of lock in. This is my favorite mega shortcut. So I'm going to drive over to here to load in a later part of the track and then actually drive backwards here. And I can barely slip between here and get to this lower section of the track. So that avoids me needing to drive down this crazy spiral.
Wrong way.
And then I can hop that fence as well to skip almost the entire track. Look at how long this track is. I skipped most of it. And then this little hairpin. I missed the boost pad, but that's okay. The shortcut is far more important. I get these wumpers as well. Alright. And I will try this one again. I'm playing it a little bit safe. I'm loading in more of the track than I otherwise would. Beautiful. Yeah, if I didn't load in an extra bit of the track there, I actually might have got masked for jumping too far. Beautiful. Now, if I go down the spiral, just as a sort of like benchmark to show... Oh, I jumped over it? That's crazy. As a sort of benchmark to show how much time that trick saves, if I go down the spiral, I touch the very last boost pad at 35 seconds. Just there, I landed it at 30. So I saved 5 seconds per lap, and you do this track twice, so that's a cumulative 30 seconds over the run, if you can land at 6 for 6.
Squish
Whoa, that was crazy. I caught back up to the AI. I think they're still on lap 2. My heart fell out of my chest just then. And I missed the boost pad again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. Very nice, though. Alright, can I get... This is my last opportunity to get a pause. Please give me the pause.
Congratulations.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. So that's, yeah, that saves about 2 seconds by skipping the dialogue of the mask saying, congratulations, you win a trophy, and so on. And the little animation of the trophy popping up. Super tight window to time it. I don't know how to time it, I just mash it. So this is our last new track, and also has a crazy set of shortcuts. So first thing I'm going to do is jump up onto this fence, and jump over it. Okay, excellent. Oh, okay, I will show it next track. next lap there. This one's particularly difficult for me, but it is the coolest shortcut in the game. There's a significantly easier one. I'm in 8th place right now, but it doesn't matter. When you see this shortcut... Oh my god, I don't know what to do. I skipped the tutorial for it. That's why you always pay attention to the tutorials. But none of it matters. Because what I'm going to do is just jump over here. And I'm in first. You might remember a very large portion of this track takes place like outer space. You skip all of that. Okay, I'm gonna try. I really want to show this one off in full. Okay, so I lost like 20 seconds there. That's good. There we go. So I'm gonna jump down the spiral to load in the area of the track that I want to jump to.
Wait.
And then jump back up.
Out of my way.
And jump down to that other section. And then chain that into the larger skip. And that's insane. So with that, you can produce a lap at about 45 to 47 seconds long. And this is a track that you do race twice, so any time save you can find on this track each lap is immediately doubled, which is really cool. Alright, let's go again. Very nice. Jump down.
Wait.
I thought I jumped a little bit too far there. I'm being very careful here. And I can see there's already CPU ahead of me. I am a little bit worried about items. I'm going to try and not tailgate him too hard. Got him. Get shit on. Nice. Okay, so we've just got our last 2 boss tracks left. Which will be Pinstripe, which is really cool that they just gave him an actual machine gun.
If you's gonna face outside, you's gonna have to.
We do have a donation from Storen Joran Bjordan. I can't pronounce this name. However, it was $10, a nice little 10 burger, and it says Saturdays are for the girls. Right on, brother. Or sister. Thank you very kindly. Alright, now, Pinstripe is a particularly frustrating boss, because he will throw bombs. And if you get behind him at all, which if I nail this track, I actually will end up behind Pinstripe right at the end. It can be very frustrating.
Have some of this.
Okay, that was a little bit sketchy. Oh my goodness. I almost fell off the track there, but it's alright. Alright, I really want to actually like land on this, there we go. That's a lot faster.
Watch your back.
Okay. If I go 6 for 6 on this shortcut, I'm going to be super stoked.
Wrong way.
Very good. So that section that I'm jumping through is particularly difficult.
Wrong
So
way.
you want to hug the wall, right? But, like, you want to slip just to its left. If you're too far right, you just won't fall off the track, which, I mean, that just ruins the shortcut as is. But if you go far enough to the left, but not far enough to the left to exit the track, but not far enough to be away from the wall, you'll grind against the wall and fall to your death. But if you go too far left, you'll get masked.
Way.
You'll go too far out of bounds. So, whoa, that was crazy.
Say good night.
I've never actually seen that.
Wrong way.
Oh my god,
Here you
he's right behind me. I somehow saved enough time to get in front of him. That's crazy, I've never done that. Oh, I jumped over the thing. Crazy. Typically, I end up behind Pinstripe when I do that last fence hop. But yeah, to sort of finish what I was saying, you want to be far enough to the left of the guardrail that you can actually slip off the track and get between the left side kill plane. But you don't want to be too far to the right because you'll grind against the wall and you won't get enough distance. It's a really weird, it's a very delicate shortcut.
What took you so long? Now we prove who the fastest driver
Right.
really is.
This is our final track. So time will be when we cross the finish line on this track. Oxide's going to cheat and get an early start here. And Oxide is also going to throw a lot of different kinds of items out, which is really frustrating. And he's also going to leave potions on lap 3, which... He's going to leave potions on lap 3, which are very annoying to deal with. I actually was a little bit worried about that one. Didn't quite get a drift there. This driving is a little bit crap. Driving like a grandma. Alright. Time to pick up the pace. Moose is in the house. That's not how it's done. Okay, so I don't know what happened there. I just didn't get the speed or the angle that I was meant to or something. That's okay. I can show off the super boost pad instead. Okay, and that's a really hard tunnel to navigate through. It's a really tight corner. And because you can't drift through it, it does make it particularly hard. Yeah, that was really weird. Let's try and close this one out with the shortcut intact. Part 1.
Wrong way.
Ah, no! Oh, it's such a shame. Okay, I'm gonna try exactly once to do it this way. Nah, okay. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But it's okay. I can still do the big shortcut. Who knew that Oxide Station would be my nemesis today? Unfortunate end in terms of not getting to close it out with the shortcut, but I did get to show it off a few times, so I'm very happy about that. And I got Hot Air Skyway 6 for 6. Very happy about that. Okay, and time is gonna be in just a moment. Time. Ah! I didn't have global hotkeys on. Time. It was like a 55 something something. Excellent work, Sire. Thank you, Sire. Outstanding stuff. I'm really happy about that run. That went really, really well. It was 55-58. Okay. Excellent. So I can put that in the little... I'm keeping track of everybody's actual times. In the schedule that you can see with exclamation point schedule. Excellent stuff. Yeah, I'm really happy about that run. My first time that I got in this game ever that I was particularly proud of was a 56-14. The reason I was particularly proud of it is because I had seen Nace Pybus, run the game at other Oz Speedruns events, and I saw Nace as like, you know, oh, this guy's like an expert and whatnot. And he is, but I'm not, by the way, he is. He was very good at Crash Team Racing. But I was like, man, I wish I was that good. And that 56-14 beat him by a couple of seconds. I think his time was 56-17. So it was a nice, like, oh, that's really good to see that I'm starting to post up these times that are matching players that I really respect. And this run that I've done just now, despite all of its flaws, is even faster than that. So it's always really nice to play a bit of Crash Team Racing, and it's a good, like, it shows my effort, I guess, that I've put in and whatnot, and I've worked pretty hard for this game. Yeah, I love this game a lot. If you are interested in Crash Team Racing speedrunning, again, the Discord is like one of the best Discords I've ever been in. Everyone is super helpful. This game has crazy, like, worldwide appeal because typically games are only like NTSC. That's the fast platform, right? So Japan and America only. But because Naughty Dog was like untouchable as a dev in the PS1 era, this game runs only at 5/6 of the frame rate as the NTSC counterpart. Not 5/6 the speed, only 5/6 the frame rate. But you're compensated through a few other things that, you know, are just byproducts of that sort of development hurdle. So PAL and NTSC are actually roughly even. So if you have a PS2 or a PS1 and a copy of this game and a controller and whatever, you have everything that you need to start running this game. It's a beautiful speedrun game. Excellent at all levels. If you're particularly intimidated by the skips, there's a skipless category, but please run the one with skips. I want to see more. And yeah, I mean, I'm down to teach anyone. I have time for anyone who even remotely would want to take a game like this seriously. So yeah, everyone here is already on my Twitch, so I don't need to do any shoutouts along those lines. But yes, shout out to the Crash Team Racing Discord for just being excellent and always being down to help new players and experienced players. Yeah, so with that, that's sort of the first leg of Syothon complete. There's going to be a brief intermission because I think Twitch cuts off VODs at the 48-hour mark, and we are scheduled to do about 49 hours of streaming. So I've put in a little intermission here just so that I can reset everything, make sure there's no tech issues or anything along those lines, and all that good stuff. So please do stick around. The stream is going to end very briefly, but do not go anywhere. We will be back in about 20 minutes with Aeon Frodo running Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, which is a fantastic game as well. And then after that is going to be one that I know a lot of people are particularly excited for. It's going to be the big man Calabar, good friend of mine. He's going to be eating a large Big Mac meal, 100%, burger, chips, drink, as fast as he can. So stay tuned for that. That's right after Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. So yes, the stream will end, but please, please, please stick around. We'll be back very, very soon, okay? 10 minutes tops for the stream to be back and live. And the runs will recommence in about 20 minutes.